Hey guys, Trent here coming at you with another video. So a topic I hear resellers, the reseller community talk about is certain thrift stores. Are they jacking up their prices too much? Is there still money to be made? So let's talk about that a little bit. Are the thrift stores jacking up the prices too much? Are they trying to act like a retail store, a boutique or whatever? And you feel like you can't find anything good at the thrift store, at least not for a reasonable price to where you feel that there's some meat left on the bone for your profit. So the quick answer to that is it really depends on where you live, right? What resources you have available to you in your local area. I've heard people comment about a thrift store called Savers. Down here in San Diego, as far as I know, I don't think there are any Savers. What we have down here, we have the Goodwill, which they have kind of transition into like boutique-esque kind of shops, but you'll find certain ones aren't trying to be so what's the word, boutique style, I guess you could say. They're more like still leaning towards the thrift store kind of vibe. Then we have down here Disabled American Veterans Thrift Store, which is a pretty good one. They get a big quantity of stuff from what I could see, and they have like big, kind of like the big thrift store environment. It's where I find some decent stuff from time to time, especially if I go to travel a little bit farther away to a city called Oceanside, or close to that area at least. So I forgot even the name of the thrift store that I've been recently going to, but it's up north close to that area. Like I'm saying too, I have to travel a little ways to get there, but I've found that that thrift store has been providing me with like a ton of great Nerf items and other items. I honestly get overwhelmed when I get in there. There's so much stuff. They just constantly bringing stuff out, and combination with every time I go there, there's a ton of people. So it's just a madhouse. But I can only imagine if I were to just get there whenever that place first opens and just spend maybe 3 hours in there, I'd probably run out of money. Obviously, I can't comment on Savers, but for the Goodwill, I've noticed, for me, Goodwill, the one that I go to, they're not overpriced really on most of the stuff that I find. Some things are a little bit, but you just pass on those. So I'd say as a reseller, you've got to develop like a habit. You can't go in there and expect to be finding you can't go into certain thrift stores and expect to be finding like your inventory for the whole week in one place. You know, you just got to be selective, go in there, find the deals if there are. If they're not, that's fine, move on. In and out, quick. The big thrift store down here that I used to frequent the most, I've kind of backed off of it, and it's not because of the prices, but it's because just seem like I'm not finding anything. It's just the place, I don't know. Like, I know they get donations, but it's just not like the abundance like these other places that I'm now more excited about going, and that's American Veterans Thrift Store, or AMVETS. That is where I used to find almost all my stuff, of course, other than yard sales and garage sales, which of course I can't even do that right now because it's been raining here in San Diego. It's raining again right now, so the yard sale game for a very short period of time here in San Diego is actually non-existent. That usually doesn't happen very often. But I think ultimately the answer is no, the prices are still, I mean, they're still decent. You just have to be selective. You've got to find your sweet spots, and you got to have more than one place. I know that doesn't apply to everybody. You know, situations are different depending on where you live in the United States, for example. You know, maybe there's only one thrift store. You live in a really remote area. I guess you're going to have to lean towards yard sales and garage sales more than. I know the topic is about thrift stores though, so for what I got, Goodwill, they're a little bit higher priced, but you can find good stuff, and there can be some meat left on the bone. My American Veterans Thrift Store down here, again, the prices are fine, but I haven't had a very good streak of finding stuff lately. But then that's made me venture out to these other thrift stores that really aren't that far away, kind of like lesser named thrift stores. One of them is the Disabled American Veterans Thrift Store, and I was finding decent stuff there. And then this other thrift store, I forgot what it's called. It's cash only, and it's what my most couple recent pickup videos where I showed you that Nerf is. That's where I'm getting this good stuff. And boy, I'm telling you, I have one footage video of that I've showed. I'm gonna have to make another one and just really detail the abundance of stuff that is in this thrift store. It's like the employees are, first off, are constantly bringing stuff out. They do have the rule there. They don't let people just annihilate the cart as it's coming out. They don't let you touch the merchandise until they put it on the shelf. People there are pretty well behaved. I think there's vultures there, but they're just waiting to see when the cart comes out and kind of like slowly migrate into the area where the employees are unloading the carts. That's another thing though, is like, I think they got multiple employees that are constantly bringing carts out. Like, I'm serious. Out of any other thrift store I've been to, this place is booming as far as how much merchandise they're constantly bringing out. Maybe it's because I've gone on Friday every time. I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that it's been a Friday every time that I go. But man, they're just processing merchandise. I see Amazon book scanners in there scanning books. I see the shoes rack is like overwhelming. Like just shoes stacked upon shoes. You've got all sorts of toys. The Nerf doesn't seem like anybody's interested in it. It's just always there in a big old piles of bins. I'm only picking the cream of the crop stuff. I'm leaving behind a lot of stuff. Same for the toys. I didn't even bother to try to look into the clothes, but of course there's endless racks of clothing as well. And then the electronics shelf, usually, you know, you go to a thrift store, there'll be that back shelf that has the shelving units that have all different kind of electronics on it. It's another overwhelming situation where it's just like piles and piles of stuff. They kind of put the phone systems in one area, and I'm able to screen those and pick the cream of the crop of those phones as well. And that's what I made that phone selling video. It was from a phone set that I got there that turned out to be a very expensive and profitable phone set for me. So yeah, upcoming in the future, I'm going to make another footage video of this thrift store just to show you the sheer abundance and how busy this place is. And like I said, the weirdest thing is it is big of a thrift store as this is, as far as traffic and merchandise that they're processing. They only take cash. It's so weird. That's another thing I want to do. I want to get loaded up on cash and go in there one day and just be like, really spend some time and really be careful and just do a lot of researching and get a lot of great stuff. Because I have a feeling I could easily just exhaust any amount of money I brought in there, you know, within reason. So in conclusion, I would say that if you're having kind of like a string of bad luck with the thrift store, or you feel like the prices have adjusted, like, I don't know, sometimes like I have felt in the past like they were adjusting to resellers like myself. Like, it made me, like, they see me buying Nerf all the time, for example, in Ambets, and then all of a sudden now it seems like when items used to be $2.99, they'll be $4.99 and $6.99, $7.99. That's probably just a coincidence, but that could be another thing. You know, maybe you're hitting the same thrift stores too much, too often, and there's too many resellers, right? So, I mean, I could totally understand a thrift store adjusting their prices accordingly, because to a certain degree, they've got to kind of, everything can't be a blowout deal for a reseller all the time, because it's gonna shy away other customers that want to come in and actually just buy something for themselves. Not because it's like resellers are bad people, but just because if we take all the good stuff off the shelves all the time, then what does that leave for the regular consumer? So that's an interesting point, and I'll see how that affects, if it does. It probably doesn't with this thrift store that I'm talking about that's so busy. They probably don't even have time to even think about that, but we'll see if the prices change at all with the Nerf now that I go in, we'll say once a week, and clean it out, like all the good stuff, and I'm just constantly buying it. We'll see. Probably won't even make a dent. Let me know about how's it going with your thrift store adventures. Are you in the camp of, you feel like it's getting to where it's really hard to find a deal that's gonna make you some money, or is it just business as usual for you? I'd be interested to know. Well, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get a commentary started on it. I'd be interested to know about that, or any other comment you want to leave. Give me any questions or ideas for a video that you would like to see. I appreciate it, and have a good day.